Hey everybody, it's Romania Black. We are on episode 5 of Yona of the Dawn, Howl. Ooh, I'm really excited to see what's gonna happen this episode. I really like this series so far, and in the last episode, we got to go back to Hawk's hometown, got to meet Hawk's baby brother, who's this cute, adorable, frail little cinnamon roll. We got to meet all of his childhood friends, we got to see his grandpa again, and Hawk, being the patron saint of husbandodom, is just literally just too perfect. He wants to keep Yona behind in the Wind clan and let her stay in the clan and the tribe and be a tribes member and just live out her days in peace while he goes and runs away from the law, and he's willing to become the villain to save her. It's like, Hawk, dude. But you know that's not going to work. She's not going to be safe in the Wind clan. Nah, that's not going to work. Especially because the Fire Nation is coming, and they're just doing really shitty things and trying to keep them from having their water supply and everything. It's always the Fire Tribe, you know? When's the Earth Tribe gonna cause some ruckus? It's always a Fire Clan or a Fire Tribe that just, which I know there's the motif of destruction with fire, but it's just funny that it's always a fire group that's causing a ruckus. But yeah, I've really enjoyed this series so far. I can't believe we're 5 episodes in and we've still just Hawk and Yona, but I've talked to a lot of you on Patreon and in the comments, and several of you point out that this entire anime series, the first 24 episodes, is really the prologue for everything, which I'm super excited by. I definitely am going to read the manga after this. And some of you have sent me, which I'm very grateful for, thank you. Some of you have sent me actually what chapters correspond with the OVAs. So when I get done with the anime series, we can start reading the manga and catching up. And then when we get to the parts of the manga that correspond with the OVA, we can watch that along with it. So I'm really excited about that. That's lots of Yona left and catch up, you know. I've caught up with Real. I've caught up with Twittering Birds Never Fly. I've caught up with Toilet Bound Hanako-kun. What's one more to the fire? Right? And I'm going to be doing the same with Bungo Stray Dogs. So what's a couple more series to keep up with? Why not? But I'm really excited for this set of episodes, for episode 5 specifically, and to see where this series goes. So with that being said, I've taken a few days off from watching Yona, more than usual. I kind of recorded a little bit ahead with Yona when I started because I just got that hooked. And so I had to take some time off to work on some other reactions, and I'm ready to get back in. So with that being said, we're going to start episode 5 of Yona of the Dawn here in 3, 2, 1, let's go. Oh, this episode was so good. This was so good. This series just gets better and better. It just, every episode, it gets better and better. I freaking loved this episode. The flirting, I can't take it, y'all. I don't know. I'm not gonna make it 24 episodes. And if the manga, if it gets even worse, the flirting, I'm like, oh, yeah, all just now kiss, you know? This episode had so many good one-liners. It was so good. I am glad that she went with Hawk. I was really worried that he was going to take off and it was going to be this big shenanigans and the Fire Tribe was going to show up at the Wind Clan, and I was afraid like the grandpa was going to die or like the little brother was going to get injured. Like I was really worried about that, but no, they did not do that. They didn't go that route, which I like. But man, we need to talk about this episode. There were some really great one-liners. Yona coming into her own, being like, realizing her shortcomings as a princess and what she needs to do. Hawk, oh Hawk buddy, you tried to leave. You tried to leave her behind, but we'll talk about that. And then, oh, Taejun, buddy, you were told not to not go against your dad's orders without permission. And what'd you do? You took an army to go face Hawk and Yona, and half of them are dead. Not gonna end well. But yeah, oh my gosh. So the start of this episode of Hawk going through the armory in the middle of the night looking for something, and he's looking for, and at first I thought he was looking for a bow and a small sword to give Yona, but it looks like he was just keeping a small sword with him in case we needed it. Although I could see him giving the sword and the bow to Yona too. They make him look so soft in this. They make him look so soft in this opening. Like his expressions and everything. And you know it's because he's leaving. He says he's leaving for a while and he doesn't know if he's going to come back alive or not. It's like, Which I guess he wasn't getting the sword for Yona because he didn't think she was going to go with him. But maybe it'll work out that she gets the sword in the end because she followed him. But yeah, him telling the guy, to live a long life and then to tell his brother that and to pay his debts. It's like Hawk was not anticipating coming back. It sounded like he was ready to that he was going to die. I'm like, no. And then, yeah, that guy's like, you're so serious now, you dumb Raiju. It's like, I like that the Wind Clan, the people know Hawk as being this really, like, goofy, charismatic character, but then now they're seeing him serious, and it's like, oh, man. So, yeah, the priest is in the opening, interestingly enough. Very curious. So I'm amazed that Hyangdae, I'm amazed that our blonde boy there got back with the medicine without a scathe, without a scratch. I thought that he came back unscathed. I thought he was going to get, like, jumped by Taejun or, like, the fire tribe. But no, he made it back. Got the medicine and made it back. And then, yeah, Hawk's little brother's adorable. He's absolutely adorable. This other guy, the dark-haired guy, looks like the second in command. And that's the one that Hawk seems like he's going to leave in charge. Although the buddy of Hyangdae, the whole thing, I'm going to go bury this corpse, not the best joke to tell our poor girl Yona, and she just kind of looks like, I'm like, too soon. But that leads her to go where the merchants are that were attacked by the fire tribe. And I love this scene because Yona's lived her entire life in the shelter of the castle. And like Hawk said in the last episode, she's never been dirty or she's never been worried about anything. She's never had any problems. And now she's seeing full on what the fire tribe's done, what Taejun's done to the merchants, and seeing them all like bloodied and injured, and just her face. She's like, she just looks so distraught. And you could tell she's thinking of her dad and like her dad's wounds that he got. And that fire that we see in her eyes at the end of the episode, you kind of see it here almost. But that one woman's trying to comfort the other woman, saying, as long as you're alive, things will work out. If it comes to it, I'll take care of you. And you can just kind of see that fire in her eyes. And then the one guy bumps into her. And she's so just taken with how, and about to cry, being like, they would go this far to put Suwon on the throne. They'd attack these people that hadn't done anything wrong. And I love that this absurdity is allowed. Like she's, as a princess being like, how can you allow this, Suwon? Do you even know what's happening? And the funny thing is, Suwon doesn't know this is happening because Taejun, this was all, the merchants getting attacked was all Taejun's orders. And because he was trying to just attack the merchants so that it would corner the Wind tribe even more. So technically, Suwon doesn't even know this is going on. But Yona doesn't know that. So she assumes that Suwon gave these orders that he didn't. So that's just going to add another layer of complication to everything. But yeah, and then they just say, I love they describe that everybody in the Wind Clan is family. It's like found family, the tribe. It's like this whole clan is just one giant found family. Like Hawk and his brother aren't blood related. Hawk's not blood related to Moondok, but they're all family because they're part of the Wind Clan. And then Yona starting to cry and the guy getting made fun of, like her realizing they're all so kind. And yeah, she's like, Hawk and Moondok, the kind people of the Wind tribe. They must be feeling I love this. They must be feeling such terrible pain and intense rage. And then she shakes away the tears and smiles. And she says, the proud wind hides these feelings within and smiles. I love that line. I love that. Saying that no matter how bad things have gotten, no matter how dire the situation is, everyone there at the Wind Clan, the Wind tribe, they just hide it with a smile. They're like, it's fine. We'll get through it. And they just fight back all that pain and rage and everything. And she does the same thing in that moment. She smiles and wipes her tears away. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. And then she looks so fierce. She's like, I can't let these people get caught up in this. And that's like her resolve. She's like, nope, if I stay here, then they're going to keep being in danger. So no. It makes sense why Hawk left without saying goodbye to her because, as we see later, Hawk is whipped. Our boy Hawk, he is whipped for Yona. GURL just had to order him around slightly and he was done. So it makes sense that he wanted to get out of there without seeing her. But he left his little brother to protect her. And even the little brother can't do it either. She thanks him and that's a sign that he's gonna go. And that moment where she bows. And here's the thing. She said, you bring me warm food, wiped away my tears, and brought me cheer. It's also an allusion to her father. Her father bringing her the food and cheering her up when she was sick. And then doing that thing for her birthday. And she lamented back in episode 2 or 3 that she didn't get a chance to thank him. And she was so sad. And so she's taking this moment to make sure that Hawk's little brother gets thanked. So that she doesn't make that mistake again. It's like, the character growth. I love it. And then, of course, the little brother's crying because Hawk's leaving. And she's like, with this small body, with his strength and smiles that never showed the slightest sign of pain, he gave me courage. Oh, this episode's so good. All the lines, the dialogue, it's so, so good. I love it. It's just everything's so well written in this episode. And the fact of her going... And of course, Hawk's like making the final tour, seeing everybody he can because he doesn't think he's ever going to come back. Except for the grandpa who corners him at the end with the arrow. But yeah, him seeing the friend and saying that he's going to be leader of the Wind Tribe next. It's like, are ya? Oh man. And of course he could, and of course they know she's a princess, or at least he does. He knows he's a princess, that she's the princess. It's like, and then, yeah, you should have left, Hawk. It's too late. Because Yona finding him. And Yona is like, has made a complete 180 from when they got there. Like, she's made a complete 180 and has gotten back to normal. And then she's like, no, I can't stay here. Obviously, they'll be in conflict. And of course, Hawk's like, well, I've already made all these arrangements. This place is safe. And it's like, come on, Hawk, you know it's not. But she ain't gonna live there quietly. I love this. She's like, I don't remember allowing you to leave alone. And I love that. I hadn't even thought of that if she's still the princess, he technically is supposed to listen to what she says. It's like, you told me to use you as a tool to live. And then he's like, well, I'm no longer Son Hawk. So I'm not a general and I'm not your servant. I got very Twittering Bird vibes there. If you've ever watched Twittering Birds Never Fly, the relationship between the two main characters, Domeki and Yashiro, I got very Twittering Bird vibes, that whole, I'm no longer your servant anymore. So I don't have to do that. I'm about to leave on a free journey. I don't have to take care of you. And she's like, excuse me. And then, yeah, he tries to shrug her away, but she's like, no. She's like, no, I'm not moving. I've already decided. And he's like, whatever you think, I'm not taking you with me. And she's like, yes, you are. I love it. She's like, nope, you ain't leaving. And then he tries to make the excuse. He tries to think, he's like, do you have any money? I'm going to have to protect you. So you're going to have to pay me since I'm no longer technically your bodyguard. You'll have to pay for my services. If you don't have the money, what else are you going to do? And then he tries to be sleazy. He's like, are you going to pay with your body? And he tries to pull, and again, if we're talking about shoujo, that reminds me a lot of Ouran High School Host Club when Haruhi gets cornered by, oh gosh, and now his name is going to escape me, but by the one with the glasses. His name's going to escape me. But when she gets cornered by him in one of the episodes, and he's like, are you going to pay me with your body? And she's like, no, that's not really what you mean. It's the same thing, right? It's the same scenario. And she's like, I don't have anything to give you. And then her saying, like, that's not going to happen. And then he's like, you catch on pretty quick. Good. But then that's the thing. He's like, he just looks at her and he's like, then I'm not taking you with me. You're going to stay here. And then he tries to say goodbye, but I love her resolve. She's like, no. And then when she says, but I want you. And it's like, oh. And he's like, oh. What? And she's like, give yourself to me, Hawk. And then I like the guy in the background. The wind tribe guy in the background is just like, he's like leaning in like, oh, hello. What else are we going to say about this? And you can totally see the blush on Hawk's face. He's like, what are you talking about? He's like, you're so willful. And I like that Hawk literally has to sit down and clutch himself to make himself calm down. It's like, oh, honey. Oh, buddy. He's like, it's so annoying. Oh my gosh. This is why. Yeah. Fine. You win, princess. I'll take you. He finally realizes, like, there's no way she's gonna stay now. But, man, Hawk having to sit down, like, I'm gonna need to sit this one out for a second. And of course the grandpa shows up and he's like, you're being rude to her. How about we don't? But that's so heartfelt. Her saying goodbye to Moondock and like holding his hand and being like, I'll always remember you and thank you for all your kindness and everything. She's like, y'all said I was family and it made me happy, and that's when I knew I had to leave because I didn't want to hurt my family anymore. It's just, I'm like, girl, you best marry Hawk when this is all over and go back to the Wind Tribe and see them again. I love that. And he's like, if you ever lose hope again and need assistance, the Wind Tribe's always on your side no matter who stands against us. I like that. If you ever lose hope again or need assistance, he's like, we're here to like lift you up. Like a breeze. We're here to lift you up and raise your spirits, you know, if you ever have that problem again. I love that. So they're off to see this priest. There is a priest in the opening, so I'm very curious. Where in the world, why, I don't know if the priest is one of the 4 dragons. I don't think it is. Or if it's that kid with the blue shawl and the ED. I don't know. But I find it curious. They're like, go see the priest if you need some help. So they need next checkpoint is the priest. So we're going to start meeting new characters and I'm excited. But one thing that's great about this show is when this show wants to be funny, it really handles humor well, like with the expressions and the humor. Taejun's a rightful jerk, and I don't like him at all, but they really they amp up the humor with his character and poking fun at it. I like that this show likes to poke fun at his character because I also didn't know this in the last episode, he's the second born son. He's not the eldest of the Fire Tribe General's sons. He's the second born. So he's either the middle child or the baby. Either way, he's not the heir, so he has a little bit more wiggle room. So that obviously makes sense why he wants to marry Yona, because he's not going to inherit the Fire Tribe, his older brother is. So he wants to inherit Yona's kingdom because that way he gets to rule his own thing. And then they find out that Hawk and Yona are out there. And it's like he just got done pouting that his dad was going to get mad at him for not listening and not asking permission. And then he just gathers up an army and leaves. Like, did you not learn anything? Yeah, but so we go back to the gorge, basically the Lion King gorge here, and we see this priest with wings, a priest who has seen the kingdom of Koka's future. So are they like an oracle? Can they see the future a little bit, or like a tarot card reader or something? So if you don't know what to do next, seek out the priest, because the priest, I guess, is going to show you a glimpse into the future and some options maybe. But they have like the wings and the red ribbon and everything. I have a feeling that they're not going to look like what the OP has them look like. They're probably going to be that kid with the blue shawl. But apparently, we get some little lore drop here. Apparently, Yuhong began oppressing the priest and he left the castle. So interesting. And we have the fire motif around Yuhong, which we know Suwon and the Fire Tribe are close. So that's interesting. But we get another little nugget of information about Yuhong, that he began oppressing the priest, and so the priest left. Like, he was pushing him, which, that's interesting, because if the priest can see the future, and Yuhong kept, like, bugging at him, maybe Yuhong was trying to figure out what the future was going to be. Were they going to, he might have been like, is my brother going to take over, or am I going to take over? Am I going to rule the kingdom? What's going to happen next? And the priest got fed up finally and was like, F this, I'm out, you know? So, that's interesting. We're getting like little tiny bits of lore about Yuhong in this episode, which is very curious. And now he lives quietly somewhere far from people. Yeah. And Yona's like, well, this certainly doesn't seem like somewhere a person could live. So I guess this is the ideal place to isolate yourself, you know? Very interesting. And I love this line here where Yona's like, even though I call myself the princess of the kingdom, I only knew Hiryu Castle. So yeah, she's pointing out, she's like, I'm supposed to be the leader of my people, but I know nothing about my people. I just learned about the Wind Tribe. I don't know anything about the surrounding lands or the other kingdoms or the other people that populate this area. She's like, all I've known is my castle my whole life. And there's clearly a life and a world out here. So I need to learn about it too. I love that she's realizing her flaws and it leads her to have more self-actualization and more resolve later on. I love it. But yeah, so because it's a shoujo, and because they just want to tease us with Hawk and Yona, because they just want to tease us endlessly, I love that shot of her just, what path should I follow now? Right now, just trying to live takes everything that I have. I love that. Her recognizing she's not strong enough. She's got to take a path towards getting stronger. I like it. But because this is a shoujo, yeah, she's like, Hawk's like, well, we're going to have to sleep outside, so what should we do? And Yona's like, well, I've gotten pretty used to sleeping outside. And Hawk's trying to play it off as funny, but in his head, he's like, it gets cold in the mountains, so what we gonna do? And she's like, well, I'll just snuggle with you while you sleep. And he's like, oh, God. He's like, I'm not ready for this. And then luckily he gets distracted. And then he's like, I'll play pranks on you. And she's like, excuse me? And of course, he corners her up against the wall, and she's like, what? It's like, show. I can just imagine this in the manga, and I can't wait to read it. But she's like, excuse me? And he corners her, and then he tells her to be quiet. And that there's an army coming. I love it. I love it. Ah! And so, yeah, Hawk being such a beast. So I'm guessing he does not turn into a dragon, right? Or maybe turning into a dragon is either he doesn't actually turn into a dragon, it's all just a symbolic thing. Or he can turn into a dragon, but it's like a last resort sort of thing. Or he doesn't realize he can turn into a dragon. One of those three things. I'm guessing it's the former, which is kind of sad. I wanted dragons, damn it. But I am glad that he can defend himself, because Hawk is literally just fighting off a whole damn army, just slaughtering people left and right, taking that spear and just sending them back flying, sifting through them arrows. I can't believe the one guy was going to fire a poisoned arrow at Yona. I can't believe that. And luckily, Hawk did protect her, but... And then this Teiju being like, I have waited for this moment. I have come to face you. Here's how intimidating I am. Mama. I love that he just has this big villain monologue, the he of the fire tribe, and is like this. And then Hawk's like, oh, look, there's nature everywhere. They just turned their back on him. So funny. I kept thinking of the Buzz Lightyear meme where it's Buzz Lightyear with his hand over Woody, and he's like, this meme's everywhere. It's like, that's exactly what it reminded me of. Hilarious. And he's like, take me seriously, damn it. Oh, and I love that the one guy brings him a handkerchief to wipe his tears. And Hawk's like, oh, you're talking to me? I'm no longer a general. I'm just wandering traveler Hawk. It's like, oh my God, really? Sorry about that. It's fine so long as you understand. I love it. I love the humor in this show. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. And then 2 seconds later, we're back to fighting and bloodshed. It's like the tonal shift in this series is amazing. And then, yeah, him doing the unnecessary jab. But then, yeah, he grabs her hand, but then she slips on the arrow. And that's when they fire at her. And it's just like the OP. It's just like the OP. He gets hit in the back with the damn arrow, and it's poisoned. So I'm hoping that maybe the priest has an antidote or knows how to cure the poison. I can't believe that we've already got that scene from the OP and it's right here. And him just pulling out the arrow. Damn. He's like, don't worry about me. It's creepy. I'm glad that this series is at least somewhat realistic in that the guy just flies onto the mountain one-handed, and that one guy's like, amazing. Yes, Hawk is amazing. But yeah, I like that this show is realistic enough to actually have her slip on the remnants of an arrow, that it actually recognized that was a thing that could happen. But yeah, and again, if we're going to talk about shoujo references, I got such intense Sailor Moon vibes from this moment, where it's like when Serena puts her hand on Darien and he's just been injured in battle, and then she pulls it away and sees the blood, and she's like, oh, that's what I got reminded of. And then Yona's like, you would risk your life to protect me, and it's like, yep, he would. And so I love this dialogue that Yona has with her, this inner monologue Yona has, where she's trying to wonder if she needs to stay put like Hawk said, or if she needs to go out. And they establish that the Raiju is human too, so eventually he'll tire out. But he's clearly strong because they said that it was a poisoned arrow and he should have already been down for the count. But I like this inner monologue that Yona has, and what she realizes is that if I'm going to follow Hawk around, I've got to be able to defend myself. Because she's like, otherwise I should have just stayed at the Wind Clan. If I didn't think I could defend myself, I should have just stayed behind. Because otherwise I'm going to be a burden to Hawk, and he's going to end up dying protecting me because I can't defend myself or help him. So I love that she realizes that. She's like, no, Hawk doesn't think I can defend myself, but I've got to try and do something. And her just yeeting that guy with the bow and arrow off the cliff, hell yeah. Hell yeah. I love that moment. That's fantastic. And then, yeah, she confronts Taejun. And, of course, Hawk's over there like, I told you not to move. And, yeah. And Taejun, he thinks that this is his moment. He's like, oh, Yona, I came to get you. And he messed up hardcore. But he's like, oh, Suwon's going to be crowned the new king tomorrow morning, but you and I, we can go. And I love that stare she has when he's like, poor princess, and she just looks so fiery. I love it. And I love that he's like, oh, but, we could go, you and I together, and we could dethrone Suwon and take our place. It's like so insulting because she lost her father and everything, and he just basically like insults her about it. I love it. I love it. And then and yeah, she's like, if you really are who you say you are, why are you trying to hurt Hawk? Why aren't you doing something about it? Why are you lying? And then, yeah, he says, I can't turn away from those fiery eyes. Yeah, she was like, I may be ignorant, but I'm not desperate enough to listen to someone who doesn't understand reason. Ooh, and her eyes have that fire in them, and her hair's like glowing like a damn phoenix. Oh, the red hair of what should have been the young, weak princess appeared to be a flame consuming her. And I love it's in front of the fire tribe son. Yeah. Oh, I'm curious. So we have the phoenix motif with her, and phoenix is associated with fire. And so is that associated with Yona and her hair? There's something about it. Don't spoil me. Don't spoil me. I'm sure maybe next episode we'll get a hint at it. But don't spoil me. But yeah, something about that hair. I love it. And she didn't like her hair at the beginning, but it's so beautiful, all like flamed out and everything. It's either going to be that as a thumbnail or when she had like the fiery expression in her eyes listening to Taejun. One of the two. But, oh, y'all. I pity Hawk. Not because he has to travel with Yona, because clearly Yona, I think they're establishing this episode that she's going to be able to defend herself. But I pity Hawk because she's going to be snuggling up next to him and being all up by him, and he clearly likes her. It's like, oh, buddy, you got it bad. You got it so bad. But I can't wait to see it. I cannot wait to see it. Oh, my God. But this episode was so good. This has been my favorite so far. I love this episode. I loved it so much. I can't wait to see what happens next. And I'm really excited for the next episode. So don't spoil me, but this show is getting so, so good. I'm curious to know your thoughts down below, what you all thought of the episode. Don't spoil me about the red hair. I'll find out, I'm sure. But in the meantime, I hope you all enjoyed this reaction. I hope you all have a wonderful week. Please stay safe, take care, and yeah, I'll be back really soon with episode 6 of Yona of the Dawn. Bye.